welcome back to my channel and happy bookmas. Today I have a very exciting video for you guys. I love talking about my favorite books. So today I have all the books that I rated 5 stars in 2025. There are exactly 5. I am a very harsh rater and I don't give out 5 stars very often or very freely. Let me know down below what you rated 5 stars this year and how many you had, because I'm curious to see. I know a lot of people aren't as picky as I am, and that is perfectly okay as well. So I'm very curious, so let me know down below. But to make this video a little bit more interesting, I also compiled a few honorable mentions for you guys. I have 3 honorable mentions that we're gonna start with. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. All 3 of these books were rated 4.5, so very close to a 5-star. So I decided to just tack them on there. You never know, I also do change my mind a lot. So by the time I'm tier ranking these in a later bookmas episode or video, I always call these episodes, whatever. If I say it's 5 stars, just keep watching, okay? We're not gonna talk about it. So the first honorable mention I have is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This is my first book that I read from her and first of 3 for the year. So I feel like that kind of tells you how much I really liked this one. I genuinely haven't stopped thinking about this book since I finished it, and I finished it in either January or February, very early 2025. This is such a refreshing romance. The 2 main characters both have some kind of physical disability, and it is so heartwarming and sweet. I don't normally like accidental pregnancy, but Hannah Bonham Young did it right in this one. It's so fun. It's so fast paced. Bo, the male main character in this, is just genuinely the epitome of golden retriever. And I know I say that a lot about book boyfriends, but if you told me that I had to pick one singular book boyfriend that is the definition of a golden retriever, I would definitely pick Bo. I think he is just the sweetest. I do think I knocked it off. Ow. I do think I knocked it off 0.5 simply because he calls her honey a lot in this. I'm pretty sure. It's some kind of like little nickname that I didn't like it. It felt very forced, and it happens a lot, like genuinely 70 times. I'm pretty sure he calls her honey. I don't know. Maybe that, see, I'm telling you, I'm really picky. Maybe that's honestly crazy behavior. I think it is. All right, my next honorable mention is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I can't believe it took me so long to read this book by her, because it has been sitting on my shelves for a while, and I finally got to it this year, and I'm so glad I did, because it has become, I think, my second favorite Ali Hazelwood book. I'm pretty sure it's Not in Love and then this one so far. Like I said, I rated it 4.5. The whole premise behind this is really fun. We're following a girl who is an adjunct professor post-grad school, and so she's not getting paid a lot. So on the side, she dates people for money, like fake dates people for money, and she ends up fake dating the male main character. His name is, oh my god, his name is Jack. She is dating his younger brother because he has a secret that he doesn't want to tell his family. And so one day when she's trying for a new job at a completely different college, she runs into Jack, and they kind of make the connection of their connection of his brother, if that makes sense. It's a really fun concept, and I genuinely really love this one. I will say it till I'm blue in the face that I love Ali Hazelwood and I love her writing style. I will say that I knocked it off 0.5 stars again because of something that the character kept saying. The female main character really loves cheese in this book, and she makes sure that you remember that, because she says it about every other chapter about how much she loves cheese. And it's so millennial, and then I couldn't do it. I think that is more reasonable than me knocking off 0.5 for Bo calling Win honey and Out on a Limb. The millennialness of Ali Hazelwood really gets to me sometimes, but I'm still ride or die for her, for sure. The last honorable mention I have for you guys today is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is actually my first Rachel Gillig book. I haven't read One Dark Window, or I forgot what the duology is called, but I haven't read that yet. And I walked into this one very blind. It is unlike any fantasy book I've ever read. In this book, we're following Sybil, and she's a dreamer. So she lives in this castle with a bunch of other of her like sisters that are dreamers. And in this castle, there is a magical, like, I guess it's like a river. I don't really know. Like, it's just a magical body of water that they dream in. So someone like a knight or a king or just like anyone can come to this castle and have kind of like their prophecy read by the dreamers. When the dreamers go under in the water, they see these 6 omens, and each omen, whether they're not they like do something in their dream or not, kind of deciphers the person's fate. And so when this one specific king comes to get his omen read, I guess, everything starts going awry and each of the dreamers start going missing one by one. So Sybil teams up with one of the knights from the king's army to try and figure out what is going wrong. I can't really tell you why it wasn't a 5-star for me. It just wasn't, but I am still very, very excited for the second book. If you've read this book and you know anything about Bartholomew, you know that the pain that this caused was freaking insane. I'm just blown away by Rachel Gillig's talent, and I am not only excited for the second book, I'm excited to read her other duology. All right, now getting into the actual 5 stars of the year. We're gonna start off strong with my first 5-star of the year, and that was Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is a sci-fi book, which I didn't think I'd be a sci-fi person, but this definitely changed my mind. The concept behind this was straight up my alley, and I'm so glad I picked it up. I tore through it very fast, and it's a pretty thick book. In this book, we live in a world where there is like, you really can't die because there's no hunger, there's no disease. And so because of that, their population is obviously really large. So they have these scythes who are kind of granted to go around and glean people, which is killing them. In this book, we're following 2 apprentices of 1 scythe. So that is Citra and Rowan. But although they are both practicing to be scythe, only one of them can be a scythe. And so we're following them learn about scythehood, and there's good scythes and there's bad scythes. And we are seeing them go to like, I forgot what it's called, but it's like the big gathering where you have different trials to become a scythe. And it really just sets you up for the second book. Have I read the second book? No. Do I want to read the second book? Yes, I literally have it on my TBR right behind me. I just haven't gotten to it because I really love this one and I don't want the second one to ruin it for me. I've heard that it's not as good as the first one. So I'm holding on to the high that I had from this, and I read it like early this year. Next, we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, and I guess I don't really even want to get started with the scandals that Jessa Hastings has been in this year. I'm going to separate it for the sake of this video, but just know I don't support anything that Jessa Hastings has said or does. But this was one of my 5 stars of the year. Unfortunately, I will probably not be continuing reading her books, but I will talk about this one because for the time that I read it, it was a 5-star for me. This book is very drama-y. We're following Georgia, who is from the South, and it's like very South, like very Christian morals that are obviously not right. She moved to London, but she is called back by her family because her father has passed away unexpectedly. Her family really just doesn't like her because she doesn't believe the same things that they believe. She is really best friends with her brother, who is gay, and they don't really like him either. That is kind of why she was kind of like out in London. Like she didn't want to be surrounded by these ideologies. And her brother brings his AA sponsor, Sam Penny, back to South Carolina with him while he's navigating this hard time. The way that this was written was just really whimsical, and I love drama, and Jessa Hastings can write drama really good. Genuinely unlike any other romance book I've read before. And when I first finished it, I was a little bit sad that it was a standalone, but now that I'm not continuing to read her books, I'm kind of glad that I got to kind of put a cap to it and end it. I didn't really love the epilogue because I feel like a lot of things were kind of tied up in a very hasty bow, but I kind of overlooked it, and that's why it's 5 stars. Next, we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I'm not sure what took me so long to read this one. I have heard a lot of people don't like this one, and I feel like maybe that's what was throwing me off, but obviously it was one of my favorites by her. In this book, we're following Nora, and she works, I think she's like a an agent, like a publishing agent. So she really knows all the tropes and she just doesn't believe in them. Her sister Libby begs her to go on a trip to Sunshine Falls with her. Sunshine Falls is the setting of the book that one of her clients' most popular book is set in. And this client actually, she tried to pitch to Charlie, our male main character, years before, but he did not like the book. So present day, when her and Libby are in Sunshine Falls, she keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra. I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about the character development in this, but it's genuinely unmatched. I was sad immediately once this book was over. And I feel like this one does not, I really feel like this one just does not get a lot of hype compared to her other books. Genuinely, like, I feel like this one blows Beach Read out of the water. All right, next I have Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I picked up the 4th book. I actually only rated, I think, the 5th book a 5-star, but I don't have it because I read it from the library. And I would say that as a whole, the whole series to me is a 5 stars, if that makes sense, because they're so short. They're graphic novels, if you didn't know. They're really short. You could probably read all 5 in a single day, like genuinely. So to me, the whole series is a 5-star, but if we're getting technical, I only rated the last book, or the current last book, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more, 5 stars. In this book, we're following Charlie, who goes to an all-boys school, and he is outed as gay, so everyone knows he is gay. He ends up getting paired to seat next to Nick, who is like a very popular rugby player. And they are first just friends, and then Nick kind of battles his thoughts with if he really likes Charlie as just a friend or something more. These books are just so precious. They're so fast-paced because they're graphic novels. I just think that they're so fun and I feel like everyone should read them. I have not watched the TV show yet, but I really, really want to. I feel like I kind of want to see them brought to life because these characters are just so sweet. And honestly, they mean everything to me. Like, I love them so much. I feel like very maternal over them. I don't know why. I guess because they're young and like in high school, and high school can just be so fucking stupid. So yeah. Alrighty, and then my last and most recent 5-star read of the year was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It really took me a long time to get around to this book and this series, but I'm glad I did because I am kind of obsessed. In this book, we live in a world where there are ordinaries and then there are elites. And you're an elite if you have this power that you developed after the plague. And you're an ordinary if you have no powers. In this book, we're following Peyton, who lives in Loot Alley. She is basically an orphan. She lives on the streets. She has to steal in order to eat and survive. And one day she ends up stealing from the prince, who has come to Loot Alley for some reason. So she steals from him successfully, and then later she sees him getting completely beat up by these other people in Loot Alley, and it's really unlike him to be able to be beaten up because he is one of the top elites. Like, he has a very crazy power. So she sees that he needs help and she uses her power to help him. The reason she was able to help him is because Peyton is actually an ordinary. She has no powers, but she tells everyone that she's a mundane. She is, to everyone else, a psychic, and she can kind of like read people, and she's been practicing this her whole life. So after that happens, word gets out that she saved the prince, like around the whole like kingdom. And she ends up getting picked to go to the trials. These trials are very Hunger Games-esque. Each trial is different and all these elites are competing to win, essentially. But the twist is that when she gets picked for the trials, Prince Kai, that she saved earlier, is actually also going to the trials with her. I really just adored this book. I haven't stopped thinking about it since I put it down. I love Kai Azar, and I also really love Peyton. I think she's such a strong female character in this fantasy, and I just love her. I don't know. Alrighty guys, that was my 5-star reads of 2025. Like I said earlier, let me know down below what books you rated a 5 stars this year, because obviously I need a little help because I am picky as fuck. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you back here again tomorrow for another day of Bookmas. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.